Yeah, everyone's mics work. We're good to go.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
Hello, hello.
All right.
I don't know why you say
There we go. We got him.
Outside the den, inside the barn. Motor City Pride. We've been waiting long. Mic check 1 2. Podcast booth tight. Been breaking down plays every Sunday night. From the den, we step to the bar, we roll. Analyzing film clips, how the story's told. Lions on the rise.
Welcome back, One Pride, to episode 15, going into week 15 of the 2025 NFL season. That was close. Of Outside the Den, Inside the barn. Actually, in the barn today.
Yeah, we're back.
I'm Jake. Right next to me is cousin Lyle. Over there is my big brother Josh. Crazy Play Steve's walking around here. He'll be passing us sometime in the next couple of minutes. But yeah, so we are here back again in the barn after we all took a little detour last Thursday to Ford Field to see the Detroit Lions take on the Dallas Cowboys, not in Jerry's world for the first time in what feels like a decade. But yeah, before we get started, guys, how you feeling
Good.
today? I mean, roads are precarious.
Yeah. But
Josh lied to me about that, but that's okay.
I didn't lie. I followed somebody that went 45. I didn't notice anything.
Yeah, no, they're fine out there as long as you've got the snow chains on in your four-wheel drive.
And not small little, sedan style cars that, don't have that.
that maybe the two of us might have been driving.
I know.
Really.
I did see Lyle almost hit me pulling in, by the way.
I had no problems.
That was intentional.
Yeah.
No problems in my driving when I got home, but then when I walked out here, I'm like, oh. Okay, yeah, that wind picked up a little bit.
Yep. But yeah, it's the cold months here in Michigan. Wherever you're watching, I know most of the people, almost 3 dozen people, are watching primarily here in Michigan. But yeah, stay safe out there. Please drive safe. Remember, driving is a team sport. We're all trying to get to our destinations. We got to work together to
Zipper
do that.
method, people. Zipper
Method, yep. And yeah, so we're just going to jump right in. We're going to quickly go into our term of the week.
I pass the knowledge down to you. Break it simple, make it true. Every week we
Once again, we are going to jump ahead to this upcoming Sunday afternoon game against the Los Angeles Rams, formerly the St. Louis Rams. And I'm going to throw out the word homecoming. Okay, so homecoming, right? Most people's thought, you think of, your junior, senior year, taking, high school sweetheart to, the homecoming dance, you're thinking of the homecoming football game. Well, homecoming has a little bit of a different meaning in regards to this game. Back in the offseason, going into the 2021 NFL season, the Lions hired a coach by the name of Dan Gamble by some. And as a part of that kind of regime change, there was also a very massive blockbuster trade that sent a plethora of draft picks and current Lions quarterback Jared Goff to the Detroit Lions from the Rams in exchange for Matthew Stafford, former number 1 overall pick. I believe he is currently the front runner for MVP this season, and he absolutely should be. He is playing lights out.
Holds a lot of Detroit Lions records, although
Still,
I think, Jerry's getting close to him.
Catching
these
up
days.
in that explosive offense over the last couple of years. But nonetheless, this is a homecoming for Jared Goff. Jared Goff has not played at home where the LA Rams play, because I forget if SoFi was around in 2020. I forget.
I think it was.
Okay. But one of the newer, bigger stadiums.
Might have been just the first year.
Maybe.
And then after,
Yeah. But nonetheless, Jared Goff started off as a St. Louis Ram. They moved to LA. He is going back home. He is a Cali kid, born and raised, went to the University of California out there, Golden Bears. And he is going back for the first time since 2021, first season. Lions and Rams played each other. Stafford and the Rams really gave it to the Lions in that game. Again, we were all hoping we would come out on top of, but that was not the case. So that is a homecoming when a player returns back to their home, whether it's where they were drafted, played most of their career, or even the place that they played all of their ball up until the pros, right? So there was talk about David Montgomery, first time he ever played in Cincinnati earlier in the season. That was a homecoming for him. That's where he played high school football. But yeah, so favorite homecoming memory, go.
My favorite homecoming memory is when Stafford came home 2 years ago. And actually, I would like to talk a little bit about that because of what happened. People think that there was disrespect to Stafford, and I disagree 100%, and the reason why is because, yeah, we might have been booing him, but we were booing the Rams. They were in our way. First playoff game, and who knows how long. Well, obviously we can look it up, whatever. I don't remember off the top of my head. At Detroit. And,
over 30 years,
yeah. So, of course we're going to boo him. I mean, it wasn't booing him as a person. It was booing the opponent. Mm-hmm. And if Rams fans want to look at it that way, tell me you don't boo Jared Goff when he walks into the field. Are you going to throw roses at him? No, you're not, because Stafford delivered you the Super Bowl. We were the, Detroit Rams, L.A. Lions, whatever you want to call it. We were supporting him. But he's now in our way of getting to where we ultimately want to get, the Super Bowl. Yeah. So, and this game just happens to play a vital role in this year.
It does,
It was a close game at that playoff game. It was great, but sorry, Stafford and Kelly, we're not booing you and your kids. Well, we might be booing you. Just keep your mouth shut. Because, I had a lot of respect for you when you were here.
Beef.
Yeah, well, I mean, just why are you dragging your boy? Why are you dragging him, in through the mud with all the crazy stuff that you're saying? Just let him be. Let him play ball. He's carrying the weight of a team on him, and now you're throwing the weight of your whatever. Just drop it. So, anyways, that's my little rant.
How about you, Lyle? Any good homecoming memories?
Yeah. Just one thing I want to say is that, Josh's wonder of how the LA fans are going to treat Goff when he comes. Well, first of all, the LA fans have to show up.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
They're too busy hanging out.
Maybe San Fran fans will show up. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, they seem to like SoFi pretty good.
They do.
If they had a beef with the Jared Goff chance too, it was not we hate Matthew Stafford. We appreciate what he did. He put his body on the line. Broken
through
bones,
poor mismanagement, bad teams,
several coaches, everything. He did everything, and I tell you what, he was a hero. That right off the bat with that Cleveland Browns was a preseason game or the first game where he broke his.
I still have a signed jersey that Dad got me a couple years ago.
One of my favorite moments is when they had the autographs at Ford Field, and I took both boys. We got in his line first because we definitely wanted, and then we tried to get in Calvin's line, but that was way too long.
Yeah.
Because of we starting down Stafford, but he looked at my youngest boy who couldn't even look over to this table and looked at me, "What's up, big man?" Our little man, I can't remember.
And, hey,
it was great.
Future's here. Now we all look up to Carter.
That's right. Yeah, he's taller than all of us. So, great memories, everything that he did, appreciate it. But, we're chanting Jared Goff now because we want to show Goff he's our guy right now. Nobody's going to go out there and Matthew Stafford. That doesn't have a ring to it like Jared Goff does. But maybe we need to start some Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't know.
My favorite homecoming memories tend to be like afterwards. Me and my friends would have the traditional. We would all just hang out after homecoming.
Oh, you're talking high school.
Yeah, I was talking high school. Glory days. Got to bring it back up, right?
Yeah.
Although not so glory days, considering that I was going. I'm not going to complete that.
You can't.
Yeah, I was.
Tell these stories, huh?
I was going to say I've only been back to my hometown one time for homecoming, and it was a couple of years after I'd graduated, and I got a chance to walk through the halls, look at the 1992 Southern Thumb Association champs of yesteryear, the undefeated regular season. That's right, glory days overhead here. But that's the one and only time I went back to my hometown. So that'd be my one homecoming memory. Not good or bad.
I know. I was more making a joke because Josh went on his tirade. Good work, Josh. But that's your term of the week. Homecoming. Impassioned. Homecoming.
Montgomery running through defensive walls. St. Brown catching every single call.
All right. So obviously we've talked already quite a bit about this upcoming game. Obviously that's where our minds are set on. But let's go back a couple of days. Let's go back about a week from tomorrow. Yeah. And the Detroit Lions in Detroit hosting the Dallas Cowboys played, I would say, pretty good. They won 44-30. That is 2 straight 40 bombs dropped on the Dallas Cowboys. Last year, I believe it was 46-9. This year was 44-30. Big differences in this game. We let up a lot more points while we had Aiden Hutchinson. However, Dak Prescott playing lights out this season. He's playing at an MVP type level. Now, are the Cowboys winning enough games for him to be an MVP? That's very debatable. He'd have to drag him to the playoffs to do that, and the Lions just put another stopgap in their way for that. But really quickly over the Lions stats, Jared Goff played, I think, a pretty darn good game. 25 for 34, 309 yards, 1 tutty. He got sacked only once.
James Houston.
Which once
early
by former Detroit Lion James Houston. Montgomery.
He should have smelled him coming.
Montgomery, our leading rusher, 60 yards on 6 rushes. Great seeing him, as well as that 35-yard touchdown run, that man run where he got some good blocks and just shook off the defender. Once again, you let Montgomery get to that second level, he's going to make whoever else is there pay. Gibbs had a pretty lackluster day on the ground, but we'll get to that in just a moment. But yeah, 12
At least
rushes.
as far as the yards go.
Yeah. For yards, yeah. So 12 carries, 43 yards is a 3.6 average. Very inefficient. However, 3 touchdowns, you can't argue with that.
Any rushing? I can't remember. I think one of them was at least.
I think all 3 of them were rushing.
All 3 of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so Sonic and Knuckles are back. Haven't been able to do that.
Jameson Williams was the big leading receiver on the night. 7 catches for 96 yards. No touchdowns, but very good night. Jared Goff said it had some pretty high words of praise for J-Mo, saying that clearly that trust is there, saying that he's becoming one of his most reliable receivers that he's had. And big shocker, after a week of not practicing, after a week of getting his foot ripped off his ankle and his shin bone, Amon-Ra St. Brown somehow played in that game. 6 catches, drank a Coke, did a calf raise,
That's right.
6 catches, 92 yards, no tutties, but nonetheless.
Huge impact.
First play of the offense.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, for him to get that was basically like, yeah, I'm still here.
Yep. And then Jahmyr Gibbs continued to be a game breaker. What he didn't do on the ground, he made up for in the pass game. 7 catches, 77 yards. Pretty darn good. This must have made Crazy Play Steve pretty happy over here. Isaac Tesla, 2 catches today on Thursday, 1 for a touchdown. And he had another one if Goff would have just made a slightly better throw.
He had 2 of them.
He could have had
that one that off of the end zone there, and then the other one where he tried to do the toe drag, but it was too far out of bounds.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And then Montgomery had a catch for 13. Our 3rd or 4th and 5th string tight ends, Frisker and Dwelly, each getting a catch, getting onto the stat sheet, as well as Dan Skipper with target, no catches. Probably my least favorite play of the day, and that was with all of those big plays made by Dallas. Some other noticeable defensive things really quick. DJ Reed, Derek Barnes all got interceptions, as well as the reemergence, the return of Al-Qaidin Mohammed, Aquaman himself, racking up 3 sacks, as well as Jack Campbell, going to be an All-Pro this year with a sack on the what maybe should have been a little controversial
half-to-half-inch line
on a potential safety. But other than that, and then once again you see Jacob Sailors, Tom Kennedy turning up in the return game, especially TK85.
TK85 got the note that Crazy Play Steve had a custom jersey made right before the game.
3 catches or 3 returns for 120 yards.
That's wrong.
That's a 40 for kickoffs.
I think that's wrong. If you go rewatch the game, I think he had the first 2 kickoff returns.
No, Sailors had the first one.
He did?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I could have sworn it was.
Yep. And then Jake Bates hit a long of 47, went 3 for 4 on field goals, had 1 field goal block, as well as Jack Fox, 42 punt yard average on 2 punts, only punted twice this game. Nonetheless, though, I say a pretty great performance on our end. We were all there in the game. I can see both of you from our seats.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We'll start with the season ticket holder, Josh. Your thoughts on the game, having been back at Ford Field after a disappointing loss the week prior.
I was telling Lyle this right before we started here. This was like like all of a sudden, like 10 minutes before the game, I had just this calm feeling like we're going to win this game, and the way that they produced in that game made me feel like they did turn that corner that we've been looking for all year. They've had some good games, and obviously, the first game against Chicago was phenomenal, but this one just felt different. The whole season something's felt a little off, but this one felt like last year. Mm-hmm. It was refreshing. Just felt good about it. They did kind of let them creep back, but yeah, if we want to talk about couple things, my favorite topic, safety, non-safety. Of course, they pull up an angle that's angled so that it doesn't look like it. And then let's not forget about the 3 guys jumping offsides. The defense.
One of them stayed onside, so you got to give him credit.
Yeah. Then the pass interference on the same play. I mean, if you refs want to hear refs you suck on a regular basis in Detroit, you're going to get it. We're not going to keep quiet anymore because it was clear. Fortunately, it did not have a negative impact on the game.
At least on the outcome.
Yeah, it was a big play at the time.
Yeah.
So it's just, but Ford Field was there. We were allowed Thursday night, back-to-back Thursday night games for the first time probably ever. And, of course, they threw up the stat that the Lions have the most wins ever on a Thursday night or on a Thursday.
Right.
That kind of helps,
Yeah, might have a slight lead on everybody else as far as that goes.
And beating the Cowboys on top of that, that puts it more in our favor. But, yeah, it was great. Went back to the Bunkhouse Burger, for food, and that was pretty good. And, yeah, had a good time.
How about you, Lyle? You do get to go to a couple games a year, but had some pretty nice seats this time around. And,
yeah. I found somebody that was able to sell them to me at a reasonable price, so went ahead and took the lovely and talented Mrs. Cousin Lyle along with me, and we went and had a nice little vantage point. Like you say, Josh is that hoity-toity first level there. You're sitting up there with the bleacher bums in the third, so we took the middle mezzanine level there, and had a great time. It was just I think I concur a lot with what Josh said. It felt like this is the Lions team that we'd been watching for the last couple of years come out, start to establish some things, really get into a rhythm. Every time that the Cowboys would answer, and they did. They kept coming. To their credit, they kept putting points on the board. Whether it was Dak throwing to first CD, and then when CD went out, this Ryan Flournoy kid who had a great game for him. Or if it was Brandon Aubrey kicking from the parking lot and making it go through the uprights there. They didn't stop, and everybody knew they'd been playing very well. They just got done beating the Chiefs, beating the Eagles. Yeah. So they're playing really high football.
Both Super Bowl representatives last year.
Yeah, and I think the Lions just came out there and they did what they do, and to me the big key was they started to exploit the middle of that defense again. They love to throw those in cutters and those over routes going through the middle there, and that's where Amon-Ra was cooking. That's where they were able to find Jameer coming out on that angle route and coming up the middle and putting a couple of moves on some people. I mean, there was some cowboy jock straps laying all over the field
and angles.
And I will say it's good to see them get back to that because you've seen a complete almost disappearance of that from the game since Sam Laporta's season-ending or injury that has now led to season-ending surgery. So it's a big thing because that's Laporta's place to shine, and that's where they can design some schemes, right? But a couple things I want to highlight from the game really quick, specifically one on Isaac Tesla's touchdown catch, just how much of a threat Jahmyr Gibbs is and how much it changes what everything does. I saw some film breakdown on that play specifically, just on how much the Cowboys like to scheme a Tampa 2 on the goal line. Generally, they may not have a strong defense, but the athletes they have as their linebackers and in their secondary can usually pretty handedly unless you're scheme well. But one of the biggest things is on that Tesla, he kind of curved around to get to the corner. Overshown the linebacker had to shoot out to guard Gibbs because Gibbs swung out, right? So now it's like now that is exploited. So you bring a guy over the middle where the safety goes, and then all of a sudden Tesla's pretty much wide open, perfect ball from Goff right there in the back corner.
Yeah, from our vantage point, that was a great view of it there too, because you could see that when he threw that ball, that corner was sitting there, and I was like, I don't know, but you could tell Goff knew he was going to be short on
perfectly
that
right
zone.
over.
Yep.
Tesla didn't even
No
have to do
chance.
much. He just
Nope.
had to stick his
put-
hands out and just boom.
I thought he would have maybe just done the one hand like he usually does, but decided to use two. All right,
In a
way to be
must-win,
safe with it.
must-win game, got to do it.
It's probably in his incentives. If you catch it with
Two
two hands, you get a bonus.
Yep. And then, we'll go with a little bit of a bad news. Brian Branch, torn Achilles.
We just can't have good things, can we?
We
It can't
can't
just
have-
all be
We can't have good
sunshine and
things.
roses.
On top of Harper, who's been playing a pretty serviceable role covering for Kirby Joseph since week 6 over here. I think it was week 6 or 7.
I thought Avonte Maddox stepped in for him
Oh,
and did
yeah.
a really good job, too.
Yeah, but so he got a concussion. Branch is now out for the season. Hopefully Josephs will come back. I know he was in practice last week with a brace on, so we've had a lot of games where just Branch has obviously been trying to hold it down back there, but Joseph's presence as a ball hawk has been missed. But brought in a new player, which the name's he led the league in interceptions one year.
Kazee. Yeah.
Kazee, right? Kaze.
Yep.
But then also, I forget if it was on the podcast or if I said it to your son, also a former lineman, Josh. I made a comment, and I don't remember if it was on the podcast or not. I may have to watch last week's episode to see it. 5th round rookie taken in the 5th round out of LSU, Louisiana State. Miles Frazier getting some reps in on a touchdown or two. Looked good. I had a couple of false starts, but his first game reps.
And the way that game started, Tristan Colon was just having a really tough time. He was not doing well. So, I felt like they needed to. I don't know if it was part of the plan to put him in the rotation or not, but they put him in, and he solidified. And then Colon came back in, played much better.
Yeah,
So
Cologne,
that was
big
huge.
pulling block on when it gives touchdowns and late in the game. But nonetheless, Miles Frazier looked pretty good when he wasn't false starting.
When he knew the count, when he knew
And
the snap
going
count.
into this week, Christian Mahogany's 21 window started, so we'll see. He should be good by the end of these 3 weeks. But where's Miles Frazier going to be in the end of these 3 weeks? Right. Where's Cologne going to be in the end of these 3 weeks?
Gonna have a good rotation going in there, hopefully.
We'll see.
And they won't have to work on silent count for this game.
Yep. So but nonetheless, I think we all left that day very happy with the Lions' performance.
Well,
Always
check
great.
out your short at the end of that game, right? I mean, Philly
Yeah.
Zach was fired
Philly
up.
Zach
huh?
was off.
Yeah, check out the short on the channel. Philly Zach, low-key a Lions fan, but nonetheless hates the Cowboys more than he loves the Eagles. But yeah, and then one final thing to highlight before we get into Cousin Lyle's Casino. Josh, you're wearing a little different
Yes.
accoutrement today.
So every season, well, not every season, but the last couple seasons, I've gotten the year of the start of the season, and then on the back, whatever the Lions catchphrase is. So I've got grit.
It takes
Really
more.
should have been all grit that season because they switched it, and then it takes more, and then the current one, hunting season. But one of our watch parties, some fellow coworkers came, and one of them ordered me.
Go more central, Josh.
Oh, more central.
Yep, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, there we go. 70 eligible, and right now it's got a winning record, so we're gonna stick with it.
There you go.
All right.
In the icy whites.
The icy whites. All right. And so let's keep moving on, fellas.
Now take me away, pull me out of this funk. Wanna see the real spinning, hit a coin, so come on. Put your money where your mouth is, I'll get all of that junk. So tell me now, are you feeling lucky, Paul?
All right. So we're going to jump right into Cousin Lyle. Say it with me, Josh. Casino. Yeah, Cousin Lyle's Casino. Woo!
Welcome back, gentlemen. Welcome back. It was a long, week
Oh my gosh!
where we got this done, and
Do we really have to do
there's
this?
a lot of red on that, huh? So we're gonna recap
I see
the
a couple circles. by my name.
Cowboys. Yeah, we're gonna recap the Cowboys
I'm
here.
looking at my name.
So from week 14, the very
Gosh, you did
first,
good, dude.
the first one that we have here. Happy Thanksgiving, Jahmyr Gibbs over 100, and this is a key. This was over 100 rushing yards and at least one touchdown in this game. Ja was a big factor in this game. We talked about it. 3 touchdowns, 77 yards receiving, but he only had 43 yards rushing. So on the combination had to be over 100 yards rushing and at least one touchdown. So he did not combine for those two things. So the answer on this one is a no. Jake and Josh both took the yes on that one. I took the no to keep the graphic up there, and I was able to take the win with that one. So one for Lyle so far on that one. The number 2 one, Dak attack. Dak Prescott to throw for over 300 yards in this game. Well, he did have a very good game. He threw for 376 yards on 31 out of 47 there, 1 touchdown, 2 costly INTs in this game, though. So that meant the people that took over 300 yards in this game was Jake and Lyle. Josh, you took no on that one. Number 3, Battle of the Golden Boots. This one was interesting. More points in this game, Jake Bates plus 1.5 points or Brandon Aubrey. So on the game, Brandon Aubrey, 5 field goals. Again, most of them from long distance, along with 1 extra point.
He's the best kicker in the NFL.
Yeah, and they were I mean, there were no doubters for the most part. So 5 field goals, 1 extra point gives him 16 points. Jake Bates was 3 out of 4 on field goals, so he had 3 field goals. He had 5 extra points. That all adds up to 14 points. You add on the 1.5, he had 15.5 points. So he lost this one by 0.5 points to Brandon Aubrey, which means that, Jake, you were the only one that took Aubrey in this one, so you get the point on that one. Josh and I took the loss there. And then finally, number 4, TK Open all day. Tom Kennedy over or under 3.5 catches in this game. Well, he didn't have a catch in this game. And I honestly, I think in most of their sets, he wasn't usually in. It was usually a 3 wide receiver set with J-Mo and Amon-Ra, and with Tesla got a lot of snaps in this game. So he wasn't in, but he had a huge impact on the game nonetheless. Again, we talked about it, 3 kick returns for 120 yards, averaging 40 yards a kickoff, 1 punt return for 21 yards, which is excellent there. So even though he was under on the 3.5 catch, is still a big play day for Tom Kennedy.
I blame St. Brown for playing.
Yeah, I mean, that had a lot to do with that. I'm pretty sure they had Tom in that spot all week, and then all of a sudden Amon-Ra says, I can play, so it's just substitute him out. So Jake and Josh, you both took over on that one. I took the under there. So when it's all said and done here, last week, Jake, you went 2 for 4 on this one. I went 3 for 4. Josh, that's an offer.
They think I'll flash the Gamblers Anonymous phone number.
Know when to say when?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Maybe your when was quite a while ago, but nonetheless.
Well, clearly, what was my strategy?
I'm not even sure.
To save the graphic.
Save the graphic, yeah, that's right.
That's right. But it didn't always work out for you in the favor. But we will move on. I'll go ahead and I'll give you a marker. That's all right. You can come back in for this week. Place your bets for Week 15. All right, so Rams versus Lions, Week 15 on the road in L.A. at SoFi. Number 1 question here, offensive explosion. Pretty simple. More total yards of offense, the Lions or the Rams in this game. So for the stats on the year, the Lions offense is 3rd in the league in yards per game at 378.7. The Rams, 4th in the league, total yards per game, 373.2. And now the defenses are going to play a part in this. L.A., they are the 13th ranked defense in yards per game given up at 315 yards. The Lions are 15th at 323.9. So, again, very close in those. However, we do have to point out in the last 3 games, the Lions, yards per game and defense, dead last in the league at 431 yards a game. The Rams have moved up to 8th in the league in the last 3 games, 288.3, but you got to consider maybe who they're playing as well. So in this game, offensive explosion, who's going to have more total yards of offense, the Lions or the Rams? We're going to start, as always, with Jacob.
Unfortunately, it's going to be the Rams. Lions are currently on a trend where their offense is starting to get back on track, but their defense is something's not working. You're out your 2 best safeties in the league as of right now. As of recording, Kirby Joseph has not yet been fully activated. We will see. And once again, the Rams have immediately we may get into this in a future question. I can't really read it from this angle. Not trying to read ahead, but the Rams have already, replaced Aaron Donald. Took them a couple draft picks to do it, but those draft picks have hit, and their front 7, and especially their front 4, is one of the scariest in the league, as long as with the Lions, much better offensive line play we've been seeing of late, But at the end of the day, fairly inconsistent on the year. Unfortunately, I got to go with the Rams. The Lions have to play defense. Stop Matthew Stafford. I'll go Rams.
All right, so Rams for Jacob. Josh, what's the strategy this week?
Well, is locker room Puka suspended at all for any part of this game?
I don't think so.
Dang, okay, well, I'm going to have to go with Rams then, too.
All right.
I don't know what strategy I'm pulling out of my hat this time. I'm not wearing a hat, so.
All right, so we've got 2 on the Rams, which leaves me to save the graphic here. Do I dare take the Lions in this game as far as overall offense? And obviously they've got a chance, especially if they play the way that they've played.
St. Brown's healthy. Yeah. Tesla comes into his own. J-Mo's and Jahmyr Gibbs. They got guys who can make big plays all over the place, right? Yep. And that can bolster the total for sure.
Yeah, I don't think. I think the one thing on the defensive side for the Rams, their front is strong, but I don't think that their secondary is one of the better ones in the league. There, I think there are some places that can be had. But sorry, boys, I gotta agree with you guys. I think it's going to be the Rams in this game. I think there's just
Josh.
You just got too much. You got Puka, you got Devontae, you got weapons. Yeah, so we've got a sweep across the board for the Rams. Maybe that's just us putting the old kibosh on the Rams, and we get the Lions to show us some.
The best part of that whole thing is I went with the Rams. You know what that means?
There you go.
You know what that means.
All right, so sweep across the board there. Let's see if we get some difference of opinion on this one. Sack attacks. More sacks in the game, Lions or Rams. Again, pretty simple stuff. On the year, the Lions have 37 sacks. The Rams have 36 sacks. Again, almost exactly the same. In fact, when I looked at it at first, they were saying that it was the same exact sack per game total, but it is the Lions with one more sack than the Rams. Both offenses, they both feature rather immobile quarterbacks, the guys that like to stay in the pocket and can be, if you collapse that pocket, you can get after them. The Rams, on their side of the defense, they're led in sacks by Byron Young, who has 11 sacks.
He's an awesome player.
And Jared Verse, last year's Defensive Rookie of the Year, he's got 6 sacks, so maybe just a little bit of a letdown there, but still a great player. Lions sack leader. Who's the Lions sack leader right now?
Al-Quadin Mohammed.
That's right. Aquaman moved past Hutch. He's got 9, and Hutch has 8.5. But yeah, I think maybe there's a change in strategy. The Lions are going more for some of that edge pressure instead of putting the big guys on the line and trying to do that crush the pocket kind of a thing. So maybe now they're a little more risk taking and getting after the quarterback here. But sack attacks, more sacks in this game. Lions or Rams? Josh, we're going to start with you on this one.
I'm actually going to go with the Lions this time, and just because Aquaman made a statement last game, so people are going to take him seriously again. And so, how many guys are you going to put on the line? Because you got two edges that are going to come at you. So, yeah, going Lions.
All right, going Lions with this one. Jake, do you agree?
I'm going to take even.
The old even. Yes,
I don't think I've betted or put down an even yet, and it sounds like the first casino prompt to drag out an even from Jake over here.
I like it. Anytime because it's definitely come up a few times.
It has. We'll see.
So we've got one even. We got one Lions. I'm going to balance it out. I'll take the Rams on this one so that we've each got
perfectly balanced.
A different choice there. I do worry still, and I don't think we've fixed all of our offensive line woes overnight. I do think the Rams have some athletes up front that can really get after Goff. So I do have some worries there. So I will take Rams, and it's not just to balance that out. I do think I've got some concerns there. All right, number 3, the all-pro wide receiver battle. Amon-Ra St. Brown versus Puka Nacua. Who's got more total yards in this game? All right, for the stats, Puka, currently second in the league in total yards at 1,186 yards over 13 games. Amon-Ra is 5th in the league at 976, but he's basically played one less game because he basically didn't play in that Thanksgiving Day game. The Rams' passing defense, I touched on it a little bit. They're actually led in the defense secondary by a former first-round bust for the Washington Commanders, Emmanuel Forbes, who has 3 interceptions to lead the team and 14 passes defense to lead the team. So given those stats there, all-pro wide receiver battle. Who's going to have more yards in this game, Amon-Ra or Puka? We'll go back to Jacob.
Now, if it was touchdowns, I would say St. Brown in a heartbeat because most of Puka's touchdowns have been going to Devontae Adams. However, Puka Nacua is probably the best wide receiver in football as of today, as we are recording this, specifically on his performance on the year. He is, Jackson Smith-Njigba for the Seahawks is making a claim as well.
Right.
But regardless, Puka is a very St. Brown, Cooper Kupp type of possession receiver. But unlike St. Brown and Cooper Kupp, he can turn on the Jets and really be a extra deep threat as well. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with Puka.
All right, Jacob going with Puka. Do you agree, Josh?
Just because of the opposite of Puka.
Yeah, you got to put the old.
He didn't like that I said Puka is better than St. Brown. I don't like it.
All right, so we got double
St. Brown,
Pukas
I got
there.
your back, bro.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra, let's
Someone
go.
drank a Coke
I'm gonna
today.
take.
Two guys
Amon-Ra.
drank a Coke today.
That's right.
You do your calf raises though?
Yeah, they're feeling a little weak. I had to do some snow shovel lifts. Does that count? Whew, that snow is heavy. I'm going to take Amon-Ra here. I think that they're going to be looking for him. He's going to have a big game if they want to have a chance in this game. Sometimes I think that Stafford has some other options that he can go to. Obviously, the Lions do too, but I do think that Amon-Ra on the road can find some gaps in that secondary for St. Louis for Los Angeles.
Yep.
Finally, number 4, the mystery position. Catches by Lions tight ends over or under 1.5. So the tight end position has been had a rough go of it here lately. Of course, our Pro Bowl tight end Sam Laporta on IR since week 10. Brock Wright is back up on IR since week 12. They did cut Ross Dwelly this week, and that meant that the current depth chart that I saw at the time that I looked at this for the Lions was Anthony Ferkser,
And
who's
probably
got
Horton,
two catches on the year. They didn't even list Horton. I think they listed him as fullback.
Interesting.
They had Hayden Rucci on there, who I swear just 2 hours ago I saw just got cut as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So and I think the other one they have is Ricci. It was Rucci and Ricci.
Well, one news that I saw was Zylstra might be back.
Yeah, that's my point on here. First string tight end, the first string tight end that was actually blank, but that's because they hadn't taken Shane Zylstra officially off of the injured the IR list. So I do think he is basically going to be considered the tight end 1 here, and they're going to plug him in there once he gets officially off of IR. So I do think it is Shane Zylstra and Anthony Ferkser, who basically are going to be the 2 tight ends in this game. So with that being said, the mystery position catches by Lions tight ends over or under 1.5, which means they would have to have a combined 2 or more catches in this game. Not asking for much, but given the fact that Ferkser's only got 2 catches on the year and nobody else, at least until Zylstra gets put on, and well, he hasn't had any catches this year either, obviously. Do you think that they can get over 1.5 catches, Josh?
I think they're going to have to.
So Josh is going the over on the Lions tight ends, catching 2 or more passes. Jacob, what do you think?
So I have this idiom. I've said this many times before. What happens when Brock Wright is your 5th option on offense?
He's now not even an option.
No, you win the game, right? And with the way that the Lions' offensive weapons are set up, J-Mo's really emerged into becoming a very solid receiver, if not a very good receiver. St. Brown hopefully should be healthy for this game. He better freaking be resting up these 10 days.
Yeah.
And obviously Gibbs and Montgomery are their own threats in themselves, as well as Tesla being present. So you would think that, trying to scheme guard all these guys, you think that these random guys you don't know who they are, probably don't have a lot of film on. I'm also a big Shane Zylstra guy. He is my low depth chart favorite Lion from the last couple of years. I think he's a much better player than he gives credit for. Not quite as good as Brock Wright, and definitely not as good as Sam Laporta, but a serviceable NFL player. I'm going to go with over because I do like exactly 2 catches, and you can't get half a catch in the league. On the stat sheet.
I don't know. Can you? I mean, after watching that Eagles game, that
no, unfortunately, you do not.
All right, so we've got 2 overs here. I didn't save the graphic the last time that we went here. I'll go ahead and I'll save the graphic here. I'll say that we go under here. I say that, like Jake is saying, we've got a lot of weapons on this team, and I think they can use them all. And maybe they can even throw Tom Kennedy out this time and plan for him to be in a Khalif Raymond type role. Now
Who's
that
also
they know.
supposed to be back.
Oh yeah, he actually practiced too. That's
Yeah.
honestly. So you never know exactly where he's at, but that could be another weapon. Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll save the graphic here. I'll take the under on that so that we've got another somebody on the other side of this one. So that is Cousin Lyle's Casino for the week. Good luck, gentlemen, and may Lady Luck follow you wherever you may go, even if it's out to SoFi Stadium.
Yeah, Cousin Lyle's Casino. Woo!
Montgomery running through the fence and wall. St. Brown catching every single call. Playoff bound now.
All right, so this Sunday, December 14th at 4:26 p.m., we have the Detroit Lions going out to the West Coast to SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles to take on the Los Angeles Rams and former Detroit Lions first overall pick, Matthew Stafford. The Detroit Lions open up a 5.5-point underdog on the road. The Rams, the current 1 seed? Or is
Yep,
still
they're the current 1 seed now.
the current 1 seed in the NFL.
After the Bears lost.
A lot of pundits do think that the Rams are arguably the best team in the NFL, or at least the best team in the NFC. But yeah, they open up a 5.5-point favorite. I'm pretty sure that Cowboys win definitely made the Lions' chances a little bit closer with just that performance. Their money line is a plus 220. Over under on points 55.5. Once again, you're looking at, as Cousin Lyle talked about in the casino, 2 teams that can have good defenses, but they do let up a good amount of yards. And the Lions, as we know, for the last couple weeks, have been the worst as far as letting up yards in the league. Little fun fact about this game: Jared Goff, Matt Stafford playing against each other. You have an acquisition in Devontae Adams, who is not getting all the yards that Puka's getting, but he is catching all of Puka's touchdowns. Stafford very clearly does well when he has multiple threats out there. Signed their running back Kyron Williams to a fairly large deal in the offseason, as well have now reestablished themselves as having one of the best defensive lines in the league, which a handful of years ago was completely anchored by arguably the best defensive player in NFL history in Aaron Donald, and now have some pretty darn good players. But nonetheless, Lions going in as underdog. I think we all said that. We all expected that. But I don't know how you guys feel about it. I personally like the Lions being an underdog. Last year was kind of weird to be so favored in almost every single game that we got in. It just felt off. And obviously we did win 15 games, but couldn't get too much further in the playoffs other than just getting in. But yeah, so we are going to just immediately jump right into matchups. You may obviously watch any of your favorite sports networks, listen to your podcasts, hear your favorite people ramble, claiming to be experts on every single detail, minutia of the game, every storyline. But we're just going to talk about the matchups that we want to highlight here. And as always, I'm going to start with you, Josh.
Based off the last couple games, I'm expecting a rebound from a certain player. Amik, time to dig that dirt up, bud. This is where we need you. So that matchup, whoever you're lined up against, shut them down. That's the matchup I want to see.
Yeah, I would expect Amik to be on Devontae Adams because DJ Reed is just our best corner, and you got to put him on Puka, and they're going to probably have to have somebody hovering over where Puka's side of the field. So. Yeah. Those stacked sets out wide are going to be a nightmare.
I think he'll take the last 2 weeks as a kind of a just motivation. You know, I mean, I don't know him personally, but you know, he seems to be that type of guy that will use that as motivation to drive him to do it. And I don't want to see a wide open 20-yard. Distance between him and the receiver. So.
I don't blame you. Fun fact, or not so fun fact, Amik Robertson, Philly Zach's least favorite Lion on his team. Yeah. He went and put down an anytime touchdown bet on, he told me, because Philly Zach was at the game, shout out Philly Zach, he said that he was going to put an anytime touchdown bet live boosted on FanDuel for whoever Amik was going to be lined up against, which ended up being CeeDee Lamb. Torched us, but unfortunately got a concussion, was knocked out the rest of the game. So got his 120-something yards.
Yeah, he was still the leading receiver of that game.
He
He didn't even play
was a killer.
a half.
Yeah. So, Cousin Lyle, what matchup are you thinking looking at?
Yeah, I was kind of going where you were going there, just on both sides of it. Amik and DJ Reed, who I think had a pretty rough Cowboy game. In all honesty, made a couple plays at the end. Obviously, the clinching interception, so that was great. But I'm going to go to a familiar spot where I've got to worry about the interior of that offensive line for the Lions against those D tackles that they have. Really the whole defensive line of the Rams. There's you got. I'm not sure how much Braden Fisk. I know he was a pick for them that year or two ago.
He was a player I really liked the Lions to maybe get.
Yeah, high motor guy. Yeah. Playing in the middle there. They've got Byron Young, who plays kind of a edge slash.
He's a tweener, yeah.
Yeah, tweener kind of a thing. Although I think they even list him at a linebacker. Jared Verse, who's big and rangy.
He's a stud.
They've got some players up there. They got one more that is slipping my memory there.
It's Kobe something.
Kobe Turner. Kobe Turner, great player. Another one that is only like in his third or fourth year.
Big theater guy.
Yeah, there's some players there. Again, we got to look at Glasgow. I think had a good game, a nice little bounce back game. We talked about how Tristan Colon started, got pulled out for a little bit, came back in, played much better. Tate, is really being solid. I think you can take the rookie label off of him now. He's playing solid as long as he's got that support on the one side of him there, and Penny is going to support him on the other side. So I just want to see, how is this turmoil, and again throwing Miles Frazier in there as well. How is this turmoil, the rotation, if they go back to that again, of that middle of the offensive line? How's it going to stack up against a very talented and young Rams defensive line?
Yeah, I like that a lot. Tate is coming into his own, and playing next to Sewell helps, but obviously his left side with Graham has been very inconsistent on the year. As much as I love seeing Miles Frazier get in, have some good work at the left-hand side, it's not good to have a pretty important position on your line in flux, especially when you have a guy like Taylor Decker. We all love Deck. He's done a lot of great stuff. He's been playing this whole season hurt, and he like a rag now, right? He's on a little bit on the older side. He's the last Lion left from the Patricia years, and so you have to start considering what's his future going to be with this team. But yeah. So one big thing that has kind of tainted Jared Goff's narrative, no matter how well he's played for the Lions, right? No matter how he's leading it, he's in the top 5, top 3 of almost every passing category, right, on the year. But even when he had those good years with the couple of good seasons with the Rams, he went to a Super Bowl with the Rams. It's all because of Sean McVay. It's all because of Sean McVay. And don't get me wrong, Sean McVay, one of the best offensive minds in football. You cannot argue with that. And so Sean McVay is a big one. And I think we all loved the guy. We were all pretty excited. We've seen some great coaching from him. We got to see how Calvin Shepard responds to the stuff that Sean McVay can do. He's got an MVP candidate quarterback in Matthew Stafford, former number 1 overall pick. They have a very good running back. Not as good as Gibbs, but Kyron Williams is still very good. A solid supporting cast of backup receivers, tight ends who are a little bit on the lower end of the talent scale, but they fit the scheme really well. He can scheme them open. And they have probably right now this season the best receiving duo in football as of this season, with Devontae Adams, who's just catching everything, and Puka Nacua, who's just carrying a lot of those yards on his back. But how is Shepard going to respond, right? We have essentially, out of at least of consequence, a fully healthy front 7, but we're missing our secondary. And are you going to be able to get the pass rush? Are you going to have to blitz linebackers? Are you going to have to blitz a nickel and bump some linebackers out into coverage? Are you going to have to put Aiden Hutchinson out in coverage for some reason?
Don't do it.
Please don't. Let him go get the quarterback. But the biggest thing is going to be, how is Shepard going to respond to what McVay throws at him? His offense, like Ben Johnson's, former offensive coordinator for the Lions, very complex. Utilizes everybody's talent, but he also kind of forces them in, right? Devontae Adams is a guy, one of the best receivers from the last 15 years. he can kind of come in and take on an offense, but he's also a guy that can just demand the targets, especially in the red zone, right? That's something where I think we're seeing, and that's something I kind of worried about for Puka's season, but once again, it doesn't stop the fact from Puka, pulling in 40-yard catches, catching a screen, taking it another 50 yards. So how is our defensive coordinator, our rookie defensive coordinator, going to handle one of the best offensive minds in football? It's going to be instrumental. I agree with you, Josh, in your matchup. We definitely need to see great offensive line play, and we need to see how Shepard's going to respond. We got a little bit of a taste, right, this past week. Not necessarily the plays, not the calls, but kind of the talent that we saw. There's an argument that CD is better than Puka, and there's an argument that Pickens is more talented than Puka, right? Pickens is a number one X-type receiver. Puka was a fourth-round pick out of BYU. Honestly, he's more like a St. Brown type of guy where it's like, he kind of came out of nowhere, and he's just been excellent since his rookie season. I believe he broke the receiving record as a rookie, right? Or rookie receiving record.
Might have been. He was definitely up there. Yeah.
And that was Kupp, the year or two after Kupp came off his Triple Crown, which Kupp's doing okay for Seattle right now, but the jig was taken over from him. But I'm not breaking Brad. We're not talking about other teams right now. But yeah, so that is what we are going to be looking at. They're going to be very important to the outcome of this game, and the Lions are going to be on the road. Now, SoFi does not always pack the fans, right? That tends to be the case with, teams from LA, right? It's just similar to Dallas where everybody, it's a market that kind of spreads across the world, really. But does that always mean they're going to pack? And the Lions do travel well, and the Lions have a lot to play for. The Rams are pretty much all but guaranteed a playoff spot. Whether or not they win the NFC West, they're in a very tough division. I would say probably the best division this year, the NFC West.
I mean,
San Fran's coming up. Seattle's a good team, and then you got obviously the Rams, who many people, myself included, might think that they might be the best team in the NFL or at least the NFC. So, but yeah, so we're going to continue on, but those are our matchups for this upcoming Rams game.
Jake's voice fills my head. Says he's got the government.
All right, so now we're going to get into Jake's lock of the game. Cousin Lyle, what was Jake's lock of the game this last week?
So this last week went a little bit on out on a limb there, so I really do appreciate that. But it didn't come through here. Tom Kennedy, anytime touchdown. Again, if you would have broke maybe one of those kickoff returns, you had a chance there. But, again, didn't play much on offense. I do think that he got usurped when St. Brown decided he was healthy enough to play here. So no touchdown for Tom Kennedy, which means your lock went wanting this week.
Yep, it could have been a wash or voided, but he did in fact get into the game because he did return kicks and he did a great job. Got a game ball. Shout out TK85. Yeah. However, I don't think any of us knew or saw it until we saw him practicing and warming up on the field that St. Brown was going to play on Thursday, and we are very glad he did.
Yeah, when he came out of the tunnel, did that. Yeah, that was great. Yeah. Great moment.
That was somewhat parallel to when Hutch came out.
Yeah. Or Jared Goff coming out after the Rams win in the playoffs. I don't know if anything's ever going to top that. That was crazy.
Did you see the camera that they had on St. Brown?
Yeah, the 360.
Yeah.
That was
cool. Awesome.
Very cool. Nonetheless, we are now on to the Rams game, and this is a very tough call here. But I'm just going to go out on a limb. You're not going to get great odds for it. He's a pretty damn good player. I like St. Brown in this game a lot. He is not a Puka type of speedy possession guy who can catch a deep ball. He can catch a deep ball, but he's not the same. It's not the same type. He's not an X type of receiver. Devontae Adams. He can't really go over a player to catch it. However, he's a workhorse. He's had, to his standard, not that great of a season. He led the league in receiving touchdowns for a good portion of it, but he's had some down games. Obviously, he got injured in that Packers game, came back, had a pretty good showing. He's getting 10 days worth of rest. I really like St. Brown here because Gibbs has just, I think, established himself as the most dangerous weapon in football. But you can't put it all on him, right? I think that between the inconsistent offensive line play we're getting and Gibbs emerging is just, it doesn't matter who you have lined up there, he's going to make a play. I think it's really hurt David Montgomery as a whole and his season because Montgomery does really great when he gets to that second level, but he's got to get past the first level because no matter how hard he runs, it's really hard to run over a guy who's 350 pounds and a foot taller than you. So, but I like St. Brown in this game. As you said, their secondary, not the strong point of their team.
Right.
And I think, JMO is going – I think they're going to get JMO involved. I think Tesla, they're going to get out there a little bit more. And, every team runs them. They're going to run a couple picks that they're not supposed to run.
Just don't make it look obvious.
Don't make it look
like
obvious. That's all you got to do.
George Pickens did last week.
Yeah, exactly. But he gives it his best effort. I am rolling the dice here because there's a lot of speculation about maybe some unreported injuries that St. Brown might have. But nonetheless, I like St. Brown in this game. He hasn't had a touchdown a handful of games now, and I think they're going to get him back on the score sheet. Your thoughts, boys?
Yeah, I don't think you can ever go wrong with an ARSB anytime touchdown. He's going to be a focal point of it, and like you said, he's kind of due for one a little bit as far as as far as those go. So I do think that is something that, like you said, if you just want to put something to say, I want to just win a little money there. I'm not going to win big totals with it there. I think you got a good shot in this one. And
Campbell likes to reward the players that he loves, and that put forth that grit. And obviously, you saw what he said after the last game, So I think it's not that he's like taking points away from St. Brown, but I think he'll definitely try to push the envelope to make sure he gets it. But one of the things that I do like about these last few weeks is I think that Campbell is starting to, we can't call him necessarily Dan Gamble anymore. I think he's starting to realize that, hey, there's a time and place for it.
Yeah.
And let's not put the team in jeopardy. So
yeah, it's reading the momentum of the offense, right? If they are cooking, and if they're not cooking, it's kind of hard because they're downtrodden. They're not expecting it. Maybe some of the guys are even in their minds being like, let me just get off the field and we got to recenter here. But yeah, so St. Brown anytime touchdown, you're going to get it for probably plus 105 as of this early in the week. That is sure to drop as we get closer and closer to game time. St. Brown anytime touchdown. That's Jake's click lock of the week.
Something's gonna rise. We're gonna feast. We're gonna feast. 55.
All right, so before we get to everybody's favorite segment coming up here, he is waiting in the wings for us to be done. We're going to quickly go over our score predictions for the week. It doesn't look like anybody got even remotely close.
We all had Detroit.
I think I had 1 billion to 30.
Yeah, you were going for Josh was going for a scorigami, and again, 44-30 is not that common of one, but there is at least three, times where that was scored, so it's not a scorigami. I had 31-30, so I had the Cowboys, side of this right. Jake, you had 34-31, which is relatively. It was 44-30. I mean, relatively right in that range there. We just didn't think it was going to be a 14-point win, is I think the biggest thing that that came out of that. But overall, hey, at least we are all on the right side of the predictions this week.
Yep. And so now we're going to get into this week's scores, and we're going to start once again with you, Brother Josh.
Well, looking at everybody's predictions so far in the NFL, it looks like everybody's expecting this to be anywhere from 1 to 3 points. I don't think anybody's looking at it as a blowout. So I'll go with that approach, and you know what? I think I'm gonna steal Lyle's from last week, 31-30.
That's 31-30 Lions?
Lions, yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm never going to go for the other team.
Gotcha.
I can't.
Lyle.
Well, this is a game that, when we go back to the preseason predictions, I believe I had the Rams winning this game. Right now, like you say, the Rams look like they might be the best team in the NFL. They're when they're playing teams, they're absolutely smashing them, save for that weird Panthers debacle that happened a couple of weeks ago. But they're taking care of business. I don't think the Lions are anybody like the Rams or the Cardinals that they just beat by 3 touchdowns here pretty recently, or some of those other teams that the Rams are beating up on. But I still think that the Rams have something. They're getting pushed by Seattle right now. Both teams have the same record. It's going to be a battle for the 1 seed, so they've got something to play for. Yes, they will still get in the playoffs if they lose this game, so maybe there's a little bit of a letdown factor there, but I still think that they're going to be playing. And you know that Matthew Stafford's lost a couple times in a row to the Lions, so I think he's going to really want to have some motivation to get a win over his former team at this point. So I am going to go Rams in this game. I'm going to call it 34-27 Rams over the Lions, and it really puts the Lions in almost a absolute back to the wall situation there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing too, right? The Rams, post-Stafford trade, won a Super Bowl, have already rebuilt their team to a contender. And this matchup has not been one-sided because the Lions have been able to be contenders. Obviously on a down year. We kind of expected it, right, with changes in both offense and defensive coordinators. You had an all-pro center retire, try and come back, but then re-retire.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Hey, Hank Fraley.
That's the first time I've used that phrase in a few years.
Yeah, Hank Fraley said some interesting stuff recently in press conferences and reports. But nonetheless, Lyle, I really like your score. But we're going to flip it. We're going to say Lions 37, or what was it? Yeah,
34.
And then Rams 34.
37-34 Lions.
34. We're going to flip it. Detroit Lions over the Rams, 37-34. In a bit of a shootout, the Rams have something to play for, but Matt Stafford has something that Jared Goff doesn't have, and what he wants badly. Stafford's 1-1 in Super Bowls. Goff's 0-1, and he wants to rectify that. And, I just think the Lions want it more. I think Stafford wants it, arguably the most, but I think the Lions as a whole want it more.
I can't wait to hear the Jared Goff chants in that 50% Lions SoFi Stadium then, if that's what happens, man, because that's what's going to happen.
Jared Goff in his homecoming, and no matter what anybody says about Jared Goff, never forget what he did to the Chiefs defense on that Monday night game. Never forget that.
3 things in life guaranteed: death, taxes, and did you know that Clayton Kershaw and
high school teammates never get over.
We're gonna hear about that again.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, we should do an over/under. How many times is the Dodgers World Series championship going to get mentioned?
Oh.
And Clayton Kershaw.
Hopefully not as many times as Kirk Herbstreit called him shoddy. Called the Cowboys coach shoddy in that game. Shoddy.
All right, so let's really quickly go down the line. Everybody's score predictions. Josh.
31-30 Lions.
Lyle.
34-27 being the downer on the Rams.
And we are going to do 37-34 Detroit Lions. And those are our score predictions for this week. And we are now going to transition to...
Steve's gonna blow your mind away.
Ooh, crazy Steve's play of the game.
Man,
woo, I messed it up. Yeah, that's okay. We're going to roll with it.
Who knows what play this guy comes up with.
Well, I hope you do because it is your turn. Take it away, Dad.
Okay. Lately I've been doing shout-outs, so let's start with that, I guess. Shout-out on the Dallas Cowboy game, taking the ball first.
Off a deferment.
My Breaking Brad fella, he said to me that I'm with you now. He fought me left and right, disagreeing.
He's a take the ball first kind of guy now, huh?
First guy.
I
couldn't believe it.
But let's preface this. He was watching the Pistons, so you know that he was at least a 6-pack in by then.
Well, anyways, we took the ball first, and I was happy. Okay, shout-outs to, go with St. Brown and Gibbs and Goff and Montgomery.
Same old usual suspects.
Those guys, found their niche again. So that was good. And then the one guy that had the 3 sacks.
Al-Qadim Muhammad, yeah.
Shout out to him too. Now the last shout out would be to Dan Campbell. And the reason why I'm bringing him up is because he said recently, and he probably says it a lot, is that you have to beat the other team and the refs. And so
Is that a direct quote?
Huh? Direct quote? I know he said it a number of times to his team.
You know,
After he's punching holes in walls.
So, anyways,
Tom Kennedy calling you and telling you that's what he's saying, Dad.
instead of beating up on the refs, we'll just put it as you have to beat them along with the other team.
Just put it in the game plan.
Yep. And run it up so they can't screw you on some stinking little play.
It's a very common idiom in a lot of sports, but I've heard it a lot in football is play well enough where a one or two bad calls don't lose you the game.
Yeah.
So,
Well, anyways, I don't know if you guys noticed, but after the last 2 wins the Lions had, the opposing coach was bitching about the refs. So I wonder if the front office says, okay, if you lose to the Lions, bitch, so it offsets the bitching the Lions.
Maybe they're hypnotizing them.
Yeah, back to
The
that.
games.
Yeah.
Could be.
You were half a touchdown away from, or no, 1 touchdown away from 2 tutty Tesla. So your predictions are getting close.
Yeah. And then the big shout, as you probably
That's what I was
realize.
checking.
Yeah.
You're not wearing the jersey.
I'm not wearing the jersey, but I went to the game and went right away, and they printed me off a jersey. And they said they'd have it before the game, and they did. I didn't wear it because I had Rodrigo on, but that was awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
That was
Special teams,
awesome.
yeah. Got it.
But I bought his jersey before the big plays that he made. So,
And
pretty cool.
whose jersey is that, Dad?
Thomas Kennedy,
Thomas Kennedy.
TK.
85.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Big plays, yeah. Big part of that one.
one sarcastic shout out,
Uh-oh.
and that's to me.
Oh.
Calling
Me.
himself out.
I got lost down in the underground parking, and if
no.
it wasn't for Jake and Tyler, boy, I'd probably still be walking down.
We would have never let that happen.
I
would have jumped out and rolled in the
I-
car, and I would have went and got
I
you.
didn't know where I was going with that. I was maybe looking for the next crazy play.
Maybe Tom Kennedy parked down there. You don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. But anyways, shout out to him, and I bought his jersey before the game.
Before the game
So-
ball he got.
Yes.
Yeah, the game ball. That's another thing, too. I had never heard a locker room cheer so loudly for someone who got a game ball
Yeah,
like
that was a big
Mr.
one.
Kennedy. And so that was awesome. That goes to show you what kind of players they really are. They're pulling for a teammate. So there's that. Now, my thoughts a little bit about where you get screwed and you go away from the game feeling sick about you paid the money and you're getting screwed. And so I was thinking, okay, you go to the Ford Field, and if you can't enjoy the game because it's a bogus league, then find other things that are fun at Ford Field.
I know where you're going with this one. Keep going.
You do?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
because I'm gonna give him props too.
Okay. Well, first of all, I like going around and talking to the
The staff.
customer service staff.
Mm-hmm.
They are top notch. Every one of them, I just like to do that. And the other thing that I have hidden is because of this podcast, I'm thinking people are going to come up to me and they know me and they're going to want my autograph.
All 25 or no, 32 of them.
There you go. Well, almost
which
3,000.
probably three or four of us is sitting at the
Well,
table.
there was 400 that one. I don't know. But
Views, yeah.
we're known.
Yeah, views,
And
yeah.
so I'm ready and waiting to give out autographs, and I have yet to give one. So that's
We'll get a jersey.
That's on you guys.
Yeah.
that's where the cookie crumbles.
All right, here's a new challenge. We get up to 50 likes or on our channel, and you come up and find this guy. We will get him a custom-made jersey that says "Crazy Play Steve" on the back.
Let's go.
I like that.
Well, I'm not going to the Pittsburgh game because my daughter from Chicago is going to go.
Very nice.
So I won't be there. So we'll have to get in the playoffs and host
I
a
like
game.
that.
Yeah.
So
Weasel our way to a home playoff game. I like that.
anyways, I found other things that I like to do there too. not only talk to the customer service guys, get pictures with them, especially if I got good service, and then send it to their front office and give them a pat on the back or get acknowledgement. I like doing that kind of thing. Like getting pictures with them.
Like this one right here.
I don't know what it is.
I'm going to flash the one that we took.
And then
Technology.
get a picture. Get a picture at the Christmas tree.
Yeah, we did that
None
too.
of my family didn't want to get a picture with me.
I do not remember you asking me once, Dad.
I got a soul.
I don't remember you asking me once, Dad. You never once asked me at that game on Thursday.
All right.
Well, get a ticket. Get a ticket for the Steelers because we'll be doing that.
You just pretended to hit me.
Yeah.
Go jump in a lake.
No, that was you hitting me. So anyways, that doing those things are kind of neat. Another one that's really special to me, and it's kind of hooked up with the crazy play, is Kennedy will get a scoring touchdown
Well,
off a pass.
Okay.
But he won't
TK
do it.
Anytime TD.
He won't do it till I do my real practice. I love the escalator. So I go up the escalator into our seat. Well, this time, just to give him extra, I don't know, luck, I guess. Maybe not luck. But I'm going to go up and then down and then up again. And once I do that, then it's all yours, Kennedy.
Sounds good.
That's my play of the game.
Tom Kennedy, anytime touchdown, but only after
I do that.
does the escalator
ride.
twice.
Yeah.
I like it.
I don't know if I have enough time to build an escalator in here for next week.
Hey, put Carter to it. What's he doing? Finals
Well,
or something?
Travel over to the Meridian
Hey.
Mall.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
Knowing my
There's no
balance,
escalator.
I'd probably
Oh, Jason
flip
Denny's.
over.
That's right, yeah.
Dick's.
So,
Oh, Dix, yeah, you're right.
So I guess I don't have anything else to
All right.
complain or
Well,
applaud,
Billy, hey,
whatever.
ticket wrap.
What's that?
We talked to Billy, the ticket wrap.
Yeah,
Adam.
I can't remember. It
Billy
was
and Adam. Yeah, they're great guys. They had a lot.
Adam was so enjoyable.
Got to see you in your playing days.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, he picked me right out.
Now put that picture down there, Josh, right now. little 3-generation TK pitching.
Yeah. So that was good.
My point of the whole thing is that sometimes we get too serious about this, and it really drains you. So try to figure out when things aren't going well, go do something fun.
And hey, that's kind of in the holiday spirit, right? You know, it gets cold out there. Here in Michigan, there's vitamin D deficiency, seasonal depression happens, but it's a time for togetherness. It's a time to do fun things when you can, if you can, and just spend time with one another. And, as we approach Christmas here in a little over a week, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, once again, just want to say thank you for you guys being here. Thank you for all the input that you give in. And we're going to wrap today's episode with that. So once again, that was episode 15 going into week 15 of the 2025 NFL season of Outside the Den, Inside the Barn, the podcast made by Lions fans for all you Lions fans out there. I'm Jake. Right next to me is Cousin Lyle. There's Crazy Play Steve. Me and Josh's dad right there. There's Big Brother Josh down there. No Brad on the phone today, but that's okay. He's out with family, I believe, right now. So once again, stay safe out there. Drive slow. Watch out for ice. Is it Sunday yet? Josh, close us out.
Well, I got one challenge before we close out.
Go ahead.
Dad suggested that we do a Lions Christmas Carol, so I'm going to put it on him to get us the lyrics.
Uh-oh.
All right. So maybe something to look
music.
forward to next episode?
Potentially, if we can be all in key.
All right. Good night, One Pride. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Let's go Lions.
Go Lions.
Be
Let's
safe.
go.
Stay warm.
Jared Goff.
Spin it, Josh. Richard.
Podcast over. Signing off tonight. Wyatt Intimation. Everything's alright. tonight. Lions Nation, everything's alright.
All right. So once again, I'm gonna try and do the do, and then so if you can cut it or not.
We could next. I keep making promises on graphics.
You're
but
good.
It'd be kind of cool to say, Stevie, beam us up, or beam me down.
Yep. All right. All right.
You can ride on the drone.
Yeah.
All right. Ready, guys?
Yep.